Okay, Friday morning in the kingdom, and guess what? It's still cold out here, but that's okay. I chose to live up here after my great divorce. Yes, so we woke up to minus 27 Celsius, but feels like minus 36. All lies. It's actually colder out here. All right. And then on the yo-yo scale, minus 17 Fahrenheit, but feels like minus 33. Those are good temperatures. Yes. And also, too, Amazon has my first book of my writing career, which is over 20 years old. Yes, 20 years ago I wrote that book sober. Drunk, I mean. Yes, I wasn't very sober when I wrote it. That's why the words flow. And it's called Cat Train Newsletters. Yes. And it's free as an ebook from March 22nd to the 26th. 4 days on Amazon. No, 5 days on Amazon, 4 days on Sesame Street. See, I'm even confused. Yes, please enjoy the book. Link in the end screen. Oh, I'm talking like a YouTube influencer. Yes, and this here, for the first time ever, we've drilled a hole, round hole in the dash of the old trucks or whatever. The step drill, the greatest invention since sliced cheese. I don't know why I'm the king of obsolete and had to have this gifted to me to figure out how to get with the times. Eh, bell bottoms? Yes. Unreal. This is a good tool to have. I suggest everybody run out and buy a step drill bit. Yes, and then you can drill round holes, not like the oval ones I was using or making with the die grinder. As you can see by the smoke. Yes. All right, we got to do the sun first. It's over here. Clear, cold. Yes, it's cold. Oh, yes. And then we'll go over here. We have lots of smoke today. Yes, and there's the flag somewhere over there. I untangled them. They weren't, only two of them were tangled up. But it's still too cold today and the staff is sick. Unreal. Goes to the doctor and he gives her Tylenol. Well, what's the point of having a doctor? You can get Tylenol anywhere. Don't the doctors give out good drugs anymore? Oh, wait, you have to buy them on the street. Yeah. All right, so over here we have the smoke. Yes. Those fresh killed trees burn forever all night. So all I have to do is open the door, fluff the coals, and it starts up again. Just look at that. For the Swedish kid, the things we do to please her. All right. The me phone must be getting cold, so I better put it back inside where it's warm. All right, we better go. Here comes the boss. Okay, a couple of the YouTube subscribers or Kingdom followers are asking what the hell's going on with these truckers hoses. Okay, the nylon hoses used on the semi trucks. Okay, let's recap on this truck. Back in 1977, my parents were flower childs. I grew up in a pink house. Yes, it was pink. They kept painting it pink. All right, so we have no idea what they were thinking back then, or my dad, because this is a 261 motor upgrade they put in here. I think it had a flathead originally in 38. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Well, I wasn't there. Okay, so there was a air cleaner hanging off the side of here. Okay, because you got to remember back in 1977, I think that's when Steven Spielberg's first movie came out. That was Duel with the Peterbilt truck. So I think they were trying to copy that Peterbilt truck to make this truck look like it. So there was an ugly air cleaner hanging off. I welded over the holes here. A little bit of Bondo or body filler will smooth that out. We're not body men up here, okay? So there was a big air cleaner hanging off the side here. I remember it well because I was little. You had to hold on to the air cleaner to see into the motor when Dad was working on it. And then to feed the air cleaner there, they had a hole here, and then they had a little pipe over there, everything like that. So this is what I'm doing, is dressing it up. So the valve cover, they bolted on this pipe on the side here, and then I decided to write weld on it. So if I take the valve cover off to adjust the valves, we're going to cover up that hole because we had no idea what they were doing. And then over here is what this pipe here is, okay? I'll see if I can walk and talk and go to the other side. Hopefully my cord doesn't get hooked. All right, I have talent. All right. So this is your breather pipe for the motor. You got to have these motors be able to breathe. So I'm not sure if this thing had way too much blow by or whatever, but there's supposed to be a snorkel tube that comes out here and goes down. All right, that lets the motor breathe. So they had a pipe fitting in here and a rubber hose that went around to that side of the manifold, okay? So I just copied it or whatever, the hose was rotten. So I put on this trucker's thing. So now a fellow in Georgia, yes, Georgia, that's that state down in the United States of America, where they filmed My Cousin Vinny with Melissa Torme, where she explains the posi track rear end in that courtroom scene. Yes, I just recapped and watched that scene again last night on YouTube. Okay, the Kingdom follower in Georgia is suggesting we get the top of this motor to breathe because we plugged it off here. I can't remember who plugged it off or why it was plugged off or like that. Instead of welding that over, put a PVC valve in there and get it to suck off of here. That way it's controlled breathing of the motor. Okay, so this morning we went out to the storage trader and we found a breather cap because the top of the motor isn't breathing. So that's what your standard breather cap was. That would let it vent, as they say. And then we found some PVC valves. Okay, and these have the small little thread or whatever would fit into the hose, and that fits in the valve cover. The only problem is I have new ones of these and I'm saving them for the good motors and stuff like that, so we'll do an experiment. So the PVC valve, if it rattles, it's good, but it was so cold this morning these wouldn't rattle, so I put them by the wood stove. Now they rattle. Now we can figure out which one has the right correct fitting, and we can figure out a PVC thing for the top of the motor to breathe. Yes, let's try that. Okay, we got the 38 GMC running, and it's the best it's ever run, even when I was a kid. All right, let's go in the shop here. The sound recording will be terrible. Hey, there's me. All right, let's go inside. We're running that PCV valve as recommended by that guy in Georgia. We have all the lights on. Yes, can you see that, Les Nessman? And we got oil pressure and temperature's up. It's got an air pocket and the voltage is perfect. All right, let's see if we can rev it up a bit. Okay, so I put the PCV valve back in there and we ran it over to here. Now the thing runs normal. All right, let's go have some lunch. Okay, just about coffee time in the kingdom, and we got one fender on. Yes, one fender. Unreal. The struggle was unreal, but the thing is, we've also raised the cab, raised the rad shell or rad grill, cradle, whatever. But the main thing is we made it easy for these bolts to go in. All right, so I chased all the threaded nuts out on the rad shroud or the grill shell, and everything went good. We got that done up there. When changing over to threaded bolts sticking out, that was a godsend in putting this together. So it's actually coming together pretty good. Let's see if we can get the other side on. Okay, also the joys of living at the end of the world, and we don't keep our nuts and screws and everything in jars in the basement. We have an assortment, so we dump it out and then try to find what we need. Yes, what we need, because we need specially large washers for this thing here. Plus, we're kind of running low on certain bolts and nuts, so this is how we do it. Also, too, we're hoping for a test drive, so we put the air cleaner back on. We've had to put these little tin pie plates on the top because the water gets in top, and the Chevy air cleaners designed a little V in there for the water to go down the carb. This here sucks off the intake manifold. I think we did that back in 1997 when we first got the truck, or 98. We didn't have the MIG welder at the time, so that's the oxyacetylene with the coat hanger. Remember those good old days, oxyacetylene with the coat hanger, and then you see that little film on the pedal as you're chasing it. So that's how we did it. It has to suck hot air because these trucks are driven in the winter. We have fun in the winter. So in the summer, you just loosen off the base and move it over so it's sucking warm air or cooler air over here. So that's the whole idea of that air cleaner. All the black fleet is that way because we live at the end of the world, better known as Wilderness, Alaska, but in Northern Manitoba. Okay, just about 5 o'clock in the kingdom, and I got the other fender on. So you can see that the fenders are high, and also too, we're finding out that we're going to have to raise the running boards up because we raised the cab with rubber mounts. We have the grill shell or rad cradle up, and also too, we all have to raise these up. Also too, with the springs re-arced and everything, that gives us the clearance on here. My dad was always concerned about it, how would you say, not having the clearance, so he was farting around. Well, fix the springs right and then you're good to go. So over here with the battery, We knew there was going to be a problem because you're holding the fender up and it's kind of in an egg shape. And then when you get it, how would you say, into place, like the running board is too low. So it was a tightness for clearance. So I just took the water pump pliers and just bent it in. We're not cutting it or anything like that. It can be straightened out. And we think there should be a brace in here. Okay, because I think there should be a brace. I'll have to look at the 39 and the 38 Maple Leaf to see what's on. But you can tell by this running board, this is too low. But we're running out of time, like enough of this, how would you say, ongoing project. But the thing is, with all the vehicles, we saved the inner fender panel here because we have to nip it out for the battery. We can always weld it back in, okay? Also, too, with the trucks, that's why they don't have the front fenders on. We're doing all the mechanical first, like the kingpins, the brakes, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to, how would you say, do the fenders. So this is the first truck to have the fenders go back on with the hood. So now we'll stop working on the fenders on this. You can do the other ones one by one and then come back and do the fine details of raising the back end and filling in the body work and stuff like that. So I'm very pleased how today turned out. All right, let's get back to work and get this thing ready to drive out tomorrow morning. Okay, it was a long day, but we got everything done. We got the doors back on, but we just put some 1/4-inch bolts in because the doors have to come off again and we still have work to do. But the main thing is, let's get this thing out and give it some fresh air. And now with the motor running, we can actually drive it and do stuff now, okay? Because you got to remember, this motor's probably used 5 gallons of gas in probably since 5 years, 6 years. So all it does is run, go in and out of the shop. Yes. Oh, well. Okay, so we went and found the mirrors, or the mirror, since that one's broken. But we took the mirrors off because we bang into them all the time. Now we got smart, just take the door off. So we got no problems putting the mirrors on. Then we can see when we back out of here tomorrow morning. All right, let's go check the flags. Okay, we'll now do the history of this 38 GMC from when it arrived in the family in 1977. It'll be a slideshow with a voiceover if I'm sober enough. Okay, this is a voiceover of the 38 GMC that's been in the family since 1977. Okay, my dad took this thing, or this truck, to a car show in Brandon, and he put all these, how would you say, paper cutouts all over to show the bodywork and everything done. Plus he had this little platform on the back to show the ownership and everything that's been done to it during his ownership and the prior owners, okay? So it's pretty good of Dad, but he was an automotive instructor at the college, so he had access to the paper, pens, and everything like that. And I think it was 1979 or 80, they put an annex on the Manitoba Pool elevator in Alexander, Manitoba. So once again, we're recycling, repurposing, and reusing. We're gathering all the short ends. Of course, we had a dog back then that loved sitting in the truck. It was a rescue dog, a golden lab that would sit in the truck. Oh yes, and that is me with my big ears. Yes, outstanding features at the time. Yes, so here I am hand bombing the wood in the truck so we could heat the house and everything like that. Oh, the memories of working hard. And here we are, the truck looking good outside the shop in Alexander, Manitoba. Dad had it all primered up and looking good. It was, I don't know how you would say, but the box didn't fit, but he got that for scrap metal or for something like that. It served a purpose. And here's the pink house when it was actually brown and white before my parents, the flower childs, painted it pink. Yes. And there's a truck in front as we're renovating the house. Dad decided we're going to tear half the house down and rebuild it for some reason, so it was great fun. And look at that pink house. And look at all the lights on the truck back in the day. It looked like the truck from Duel. So there it is, starting to age. The primer was starting to rust through and everything. The big hole from the air cleaner hanging on the side and no grill. And then in the fall of 1983, we got my trucks all lined up. The 45 Chevy 3-ton, the 39 Chevy, and then the 38 GMC. So we're going to relive that picture again in 2024. So there it is with the big push bumper on the front to move the trucks and the vehicles around the pink house in Alexander, Manitoba. And the interior back in the day, nothing has changed really except for the turning signal indicator mechanism. So in 1981, Dad was licensing the truck, and then it went up to $4 increase in 81. So it's amazing how much he was not paying. But, you know, that was back 40 years ago, yeah. So here I am with my grandpa, the guy that started Barnes Freighters back in the day. So here we are, the big time scrap haulers in 1989. So Grandpa loved riding in the truck again because he grew up with them. He made money with these trucks, and those are the good old days. And here we are in 2004 in the kingdom. The truck had a dump box on it, just bolted on, painted black, and looking good. We were busy, big-time contractors back then, but oh well, we had fun.
Friday morning in WHO-ville, and it's just after 8:30 a.m. and I'm getting ready to head to work. I still am not feeling the greatest, but I can't miss any more days. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. 12:30, I'm just finishing up lunch, still not feeling the greatest, so I had soup and a sandwich again. I was all over the school this morning. I was helping out in the grade 7-8 classroom, and then I was also for the high school math, which was grade 9 and 10 for a couple hours in there as well, so it was a pretty interesting morning. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. Almost 3 p.m. and I just got home from work. They let us go a bit early today because it is the start of spring break, so I don't have to go back to work until April 1st, and then the kids go back on April 2nd, and we start this all over again. Now it's time to get the skidoo out and head on over to the kingdom and see what my dad's up to. 3 o'clock and I just made it to the kingdom. Now I'll head on down to the shop and see what my dad's up to. I'm pretty sure I just have to fill the toboggan with some wood out of the yellow tank shed and then bring it down to the shop for my dad. He just needs something for tonight and tomorrow morning, and then we can do some stuff in the yard and grab some more wood totes. Almost 3:30 and I'm up behind the house at the yellow tank shed. I just have to fill the toboggan up a little bit for my dad. I am still pretty sick, so this will take me a while. I'm not sure if you can hear it in my voice, but I have been coughing a lot and my lungs hurt, so let's get this done so I can head home and go to bed. Didn't take me very long and I was able to get the toboggan filled up. This should last him until the morning. If not, I'm sure he can come up and grab some more wood. Now I'll head on down to the shop and drop this off. 3:30 and I just put the toboggan by the shop for my dad. He can fill up the wagon and the wheelbarrow when he needs it. This should be enough for him. As you can see, it is pretty windy out here. The flags of exercise are pretty tangled up or they're blowing around. Can't really see the American flag. I might have to walk over there and show you guys. Oh yeah, the American flag's also tangled up as well. Look at that. At least we don't have to untangle that one because it untangles itself compared to the small ones there where we are constantly untangling them. Almost 4 o'clock and I'm officially done in the kingdom. I have my dad's laundry here to do tonight and then I can bring it back tomorrow. And then my dog treats there, so let's head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather. 4 o'clock and I just made home from the kingdom and put the skidoo away. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out and start my dad's laundry. Then I'm going to lay down for a bit and do the weather close to 5. 5:30 and this is the temperature we're sitting at today, is negative 15 degrees Celsius, which is 5 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's been pretty nice out today other than the wind, which made it extra cold. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out since I just woke up, make soup for supper, and end my day.
Okay, I'm hiding out of the wind, so let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, and make a video. Alright, look at the flags go. Talk to you later.